Hi, everybody. It's Sheri St. Marie, and we're going to do this again live. And so, what I'm doing is sharing specifically in real estate, but not. So, if you're paying attention right now in the world of consumers, the world of human beings, life, and also real estate or any industry, really, I'm getting so much attention on this thing right now with people saying to me, gosh, Sheri, how do you think this could work in the wedding planning industry? Absolutely fantastic. How could this work in financial planning? Absolutely fantastic. How do you think this could work in? It can work in almost all different kind of industries. What am I talking about? I've been talking about social selling. It's not this hardcore. Some of it, yes, we're on a platform and we're pitching something, but a lot of it is not that. I've gotten a lot of people calling me saying, hey, wait a second, we want to understand what you're doing, whether it's in or out of the real estate industry. Today, what I'm going to do with you, whether you are just a human being at this time, anywhere from above 18, because that's who I speak to all the way to the end. These are things that are really interesting and differentiating about our world right now, the world of work, our humanity, business, challenges, opportunities. This is what I'm interested in. So here's what I'm going to talk about today. The subject is 3 differentiators right now for anybody who is in business of any kind based on humanity, where are we at socially, and financial abilities in business, and all of these great things changing. So I'm going to talk to you about a bigger idea piece, but I'm going to have 3 things. I'm going to tell you these differentiators. I've also put them in the description if you'd like to just get it fast there, but you understand it, right? The first one I'm going to tell you is actually trust. I'm laughing because now I'm too short. I haven't done the banners for a while, so now I have to sit up on a pillow. This happens. Okay, so trust is the first differentiator. And let me explain this to you, why it's so important, what's going on, how do you differentiate using that? What does the human being and the consumer need? How does AI fit into this? Because we realize that's a big important part. There's parts AI is doing a great job on. There's parts of AI that it's falling down on, but that gives us a great opportunity as a business person, as an employee, as a parent, as a partner, whatever it happens to be. This, what I'm telling you, is an easy differentiator because it's so needed right now. Let's give you a couple stories in the category of trust, right? I happen to work in real estate, and so some of the stories will be regarding that, but I want this to be wider reaching so that it can be helpful to all of you. So trust is an easy place to understand in that a lot of times we get international people that are coming into Naples, Florida from all over the place, and they're wanting to buy a property, they're wanting to invest, they're wanting to live here. It's maybe a second home. How do they know who they can trust? On the commercial side, let's say I have somebody who's wanting to invest or lend huge amounts of money. Where's the trust between, is this an actual real project? Is it verified? How do we be careful about no money laundering and all of this kind of good stuff? It all falls into years ago, what used to feel like, I want to know who I can trust. But today, because we have such an advance of people feeling all over the United States for sure, and I don't know how it feels in other countries, but there is a piece and a movement socially of people feeling much more isolated or not as connected. Then we add AI and remote pieces, and some of this is good and necessary, but it's just left the person feeling like, even more so, who can I trust? If you can, in your personal life for sure, because I'm a huge advocate for that, but also in your professional life, take a look at, how do I help people know they can trust me? And they don't want you just talking at them. I'm trustworthy, I'm trustworthy. That sometimes feels like, oh, why does she have to say that, right? It is being able to see you in different situations, whether that's in person, whether that's on video, whether that's live, because that's going to become a big component of our lives here in the United States. How do I help people know they can trust me? And some of it's going to be your regular things of, right? Word of mouth, I can recommend her or him. Other pieces of it are going to be, I've been able to watch and see you. And that may feel weird to you, but that is just the way our world is going to be now. I've been able to watch and see you enough that I feel like I can trust you for that DM, for that comment, for that, I want the guide you're now talking about, send it to me, right? And so I'm going to give a little bit of information. Trust is just important in terms of a lot of things on, are you going to follow through with what you said you would do, right? Trust is also categories like, will you be honest enough with me that I'm amazing, but I'm not the right person for you? I do this often. If I'm not the right real estate broker for you, and I'm not just in Naples, so I can go lots of different places and licensed in multiple states. If I'm not the right person for you, I have enough honesty and I want you to trust me that I say, I really have someone that's even better for you. Are you willing to hear that? Are you open to this conversation? Would you like to meet this person? And a lot of times people trust you more because you're willing to not be the one that oversells or overtells them. I'm the right one. I'm the only one. You should be with us. This is the right piece, right? So that's one factor of trust. A lot of times, factor of trust, which you may not think about, which I've gotten an awful lot more experience in than I ever used to have, is trust in being, sometimes we're too localized to our current situation and our current life that we don't realize what's happening all around the United States or internationally in terms of how other people live, do business, consume, conserve, whatever it happens to be. And so part of trust can also be, hey, I've had this different experience. I used to be exclusively in the Midwest, right? Then I have moved down to Naples, Florida. I go back and forth. But I also have people that I have had conversations with all over the United States and internationally. I've never chosen to stay right within my real estate field ever. Because I partly thought, yes, I'm great at working with my colleagues. I enjoy them. But it's way more interesting to hear about all the other types of businesses and things and lifestyle. That's always interests me. Where I can develop more trust now, being an OG in the industry, an OG on social media, or was a high school marketing teacher back in the day and the college educator in marketing and advertising and all that kind of stuff. The trust factor that I get, that I appreciate, that I'm having people fall forward now about, Sheri, you seem to know a lot about this. What can you tell me? That has been a developed trust over time. And if I had just stayed in one genre, one location, one something, I wouldn't have the breadth of experience or insight in a different way than somebody else might have. That then here, live, or you watching the recording, can be really helpful for someone else to trust you, to just ask a question, to just say, hey, I have this real estate thing, or, sometimes in my personal life, right? I have this thing in my relationship with my children or my whatever it happens to be. The trust factor can be an amazingly huge thing. What I want to do in terms of sharing these pieces with you, whether you're in real estate or you're not, or it's your life, this is what I want to start getting you used to doing. Trust is one of the top 3 differentiators for human beings, business, and life right now. Take it to yourself and go, wow, I didn't realize that. That's always important to me. I make sure I try to be incredibly trustworthy, but I didn't realize that can be something I can maximize right now. That's something I can differentiate with no matter what industry or what your life or situation is. Trust is huge. So you sit back and you ask yourself, how am I going to differentiate, knowing that is one of them? In the old days, we would have said, here's a pain point. People not knowing who they can trust, not knowing who's real, who's a bot, who's not, who's a scam, who's all these things. The negative parts we're tired of as consumers. Give me something positive. So it's trust. Because a pain point would have been, who can I trust? You're flipping into, You can trust me. I'm trustworthy. I understand that's important. Sometimes it's as simple as you being out around people and realizing there's just an awful lot more people that just aren't comfortable with who can I trust, even giving them directions, or something simple of, if I'm going to say hello to you on the street, are you going to be nice or are you going to be aggressive? Take these things and put them into your own life, your own business, and say, how would I like to even more so show how I'm trustworthy, and not in an obvious way? It is in taking the opportunity to say, here's an example of a neighbor, right? Your neighbor, because the general population is just feeling not so sure about who they can trust. For you to take just a little bit more calm and time and patience with a neighbor is an incredible thing right now. Any of these things, whether they be business or personal, in the category of trust, when you take a look at what can I build in modern business, the way our life is moving, that may be able to show or share or highlight this, would be an amazing thing, right? I invite everybody to join me on this piece. And then we're going to move into this number 2, differentiation. You may be aware of this, and you also may be completely unaware, not realizing. You might be thinking, I don't feel that way, so I don't need that. It's a little short-sighted. You may be somebody who goes, oh my gosh, I thought I just felt that way. You don't. It's not just you. It's a lot of people right now who are feeling like, because of physical divides and locations and people working remote and not working remote, and US and international and all this kind of stuff, people doing both business and personal are hugely wanting incredibly human. Now, when I say that, I realize some humans feel like, I don't want any more humans. They're incredibly annoying. I've had enough. Yes, there's some of that. But even those people, there's a bigger, deeper divide and desire for a differentiated, I just want somebody who's incredibly human, right? Because we have all these filters now. We have all these bots. We have all this. Oh my gosh, myself, I was at Target earlier this morning and they had all the self-checkout lines, right? And then normally I don't love to do that, but if that's the way they are and there's nobody at this, a human being at it, I will go there. Well, this woman was standing and was standing in front of the line as if I have no one to serve, right? And I just looked at her and I was like, hi, I'm so glad you're here. That's a perfect example of, gosh, it was refreshing to have a human being choice. And incredibly, you don't have to be perfect, fabulous, nothing like that. Just be human for me. And she and I moved into the service line then, right? And it was just refreshing. It can be that simple. It can be this piece too of people have stopped. I don't mean spam calling. People have stopped calling just for I was thinking about you. I wanted to just reach out. How are you doing today? Is there anything I can do for you? Right? We've lost a lot of that. And some people would rather write text, and I understand. And sometimes I feel like that occasionally. I'm also guilty sometimes of feeling like I don't want to be a burden to call someone. So I don't want to be a hassle, or am I calling at the wrong time? Gosh, just a few years ago, I didn't feel like that at all. I'd just call when I call. You answer if you can answer. You get the message if you want to. You call me back. And I mean not of the spammy salesy calls. I mean of the real, I care about you as a human being kind of stuff. In this category of us missing like regular human good interactions, and you don't need volume. I mean, it can be just like 1 or 2 really good things in a week might feel really nice, right? I also invite you to ask yourself, where are a couple opportunities, both in my personal and professional life, that I could just be incredibly human and make that effort again, or give that opportunity, or create an experience, which we'll talk about third, for anybody in life right now. They can be 5-second, nice, really human things, or they can be longer and slower and calmer, incredibly human things. In this category, People aren't expecting us to be perfect. They would much rather have a flawsome, real human being. And yes, you can use AI and things on certain that make something a little more efficient, but they're also really tired of getting the bot that's frustrating, the customer service piece that actually is an anti-sales, because if a person would have talked to me, I would have gone with your company. When the bot can't understand me and I'm frustrated and whatever, you just lost like a $2 million sale or a $30,000 sale or a really important decision on daycare. And the bot, I just really didn't like talking to when I'm thinking about, I understand you're busy with the children at the daycare, but you weren't humanistic, incredibly human to talk to me as a prospect to come to your daycare situation. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So each of us could take a look at, here's a nice opportunity too. It's okay to be incredibly human because, yep, I love people. I thoroughly enjoy people. I want to be around good people. I don't necessarily love a bunch of logistics and numbers. It's not necessarily me. But this gives us an invitation. It's okay for us to be incredibly human. It is also okay for me to be, as we move into this morph phase that we're used to, that particularly women, I don't see it happen as much to men, and maybe I'm biased, but the morph phase where women are starting to look so much more exactly alike with more of a uniform, particularly face and hair. It is a little bit much more incredibly human to go, this was me today, and I don't have a whole lot on, and I maybe did or didn't brush my hair. But the cool, exciting, relaxing part of that is that's really refreshing for a lot of people today, of like, wow, I met a real human and he or she looked like this or act like that. Part of that's refreshing. Part of it, as we move into the AI world of female beauty standards, right? Or males, if it's going to be you guys being the superhero, I don't know. We're going to end up with some body dysmorphia. We are going to, and it can really absolutely change people's perceptions. I am needing to particularly learn to be an almost 58-year-old naturally aging female. But I have to tell myself, Sheri, that's incredibly human, and people are wanting that, and that is refreshing. You can take yourself a little bit more seriously, more professionally into your professional category and say, how would I take a look at this wanting us to be incredibly human? I can do it really professionally. I can do it casually, however it's right for my industry or my people or my experience, right? And just take a look at, how do we deliver that part better right now? Because it's something the consumer and people are wanting, both in quality of life and in any of us working and moving along in these work lives. So I think this one's exciting. I think this one's take the opportunity to step up and really be human, show human, offer human. That it's a really nice opportunity, I think. And then here's the third one. So the third one falls into the category of the word that's really important first is verified. Verified human experiences. Why is this coming up as a huge differentiator? It's because verified means people want to know, again, they're dealing with who they really think they're dealing with as a human being. They want to know that if it's an event or experience, that it's going to be legitimate, that it's okay, that it's fine to spend their money on, that you can show up and it can be trusted. Humans, we've talked about, right? But it's still humans. Do you see the categories that keep coming up? It's really about humans, who they can trust. They want human beings. They want experiences rather than just being isolated and on their own, whether that be for personal or for business. And the experiences can be anything from something really simple to something more elaborate, but they are missing having experiences. Whether that be you've created an experience for your business or your neighborhood, that it's maybe just a couple people getting together or doing something. That verified human experience could even be something that you're creating that's just for two people. That verified human experience can even be something that is online, I would say. If I know for sure that I'm going to meet you, Sheri, and you're the person that's coordinating this teaching me something or doing something that I know for sure that's you, and I'm going to have other people coming online. That might be something. Or online communities is huge right now in terms of people coming together to learn something, to business brainstorm and things like that. Or they can be actual real experiences, meaning that whatever I hired you to do for me, I'm having a good experience with you throughout the process. They can be experiences right? I have a friend going to do a travel trip because that's what's important to her, but she needed to know this is a travel company with good recommendations, people I know who have used it before. I'm going to meet people I have never met before, but I'm willing to do that. And even in this country, that country she's going to, she feels safe and okay because they have created a verified human experience for her. Some of these experiences can be super simple. So I'll go on to some of these pieces, even in the realm of live video, live streaming, and broadcasts and video. A lot of times it is just, you will find people right now, this is becoming a huge, massive industry, whether again, it's for social, that let's say I'm just going to cook dinner tonight and I say, hey, I'm going to pop on live. And if you guys want to just hang out, and I'm going to be making dinner and you're having dinner by yourself there and whatever, those kind of things are not necessarily for everybody, but we will see more of those happening because back right in COVID, when we had the pod ideas where certain neighborhoods or families were connecting to kind of homeschool together or daycare together and get their work done, you will see more of these verified human experiences happening both online and in person. I give you some of these thoughts to kind of just think about good ideas in your own life of things that you can do or offer, right? In genres of business or social or solving problems that people have, but more in the nicety capacity. I also bring it up for you because I also think I pay attention, obviously, to social, society, history. What are we doing? How are we doing? All of these good kind of things. And I tend to be a rebel for good on, okay, I'm seeing these things. I'm noticing these things. I see these insights. Now, what could we do in a really cool, positive way? Each of us for ourselves, or again, within your business opportunities. It's going to be just huge because you see these 3 differentiators that came from consumers saying, here's what I really need in the world I'm experiencing right now. Again, a lot of it can be super exciting. I think it's amazing. I think it's also an opportunity to say, I'll take some of the good pieces and things I see about AI. Here's other pieces where we need to stretch and grow about some of those pieces that are happening. Here's other opportunities that we can, even in this verified human experience, perhaps you have a very senior parent that needs to have more opportunity to feel connected, but needs to feel safe and good in the world. What are some other opportunities or venues or businesses that can be coming out of some of these things? And that can be really cool. I pay attention to these 3 because I think they're important. I've most recently in the last week and a half really been seeing them. I am going to myself even take a look at, as I build up this community and pieces for you on Facebook, LinkedIn, any of the other places that I'm going. How can I add better and good value for you guys to learn a little bit, to connect? If you see any opportunity that you'd like to connect with me, whether that be personal or business. And I love the opportunities that we have because of some of these technologies and the way that we are advancing. So I appreciate you showing up today. Take a look at those 3 differentiators and how they might be helpful or great to you in your business today. Thank you.